Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Christelle Martinette here with an introduction to the readings for the month of April. Now, just to let you know what type of work I'm doing here, I'm going to start with a tarot spread with a deck called Lady Lescott Tarot. Quirky, very quirky deck. Then I'll be using to highlight that two things, depending on how I feel at the moment. The VERA SIBILLA cards that you know, and then this lovely Lenormand deck that my friend Shivani, hi Shivani, had made for me. And I'll be using that as well. And of course the runes. I'm reading for you on the 17th, which would be the new moon. So there is an added energy to these readings and really stepped up insight. Let's get on to the readings, ladies and gentlemen. Hey Leo, let's see what's in store for you for the month of April. Leo, month of April. One more. Excuse me. Quite interesting. This Four of Wands in the first position has come up in two other readings. This is the Four of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, and the King of Swords. Okay, all right, now we're coming into the month, and here too, you seem to question your sense of stability. You seem to question what it is that is giving you, maybe I'm feeling a false sense of stability. You know, you ask yourself, Leo, maybe what I'm feeling is not really stability, but I'm projecting. I really, excuse me, I really want to feel stable. This is why I'm projecting a sense of stability onto other things in other areas of my life. I'm going to take this Lenormands here. The fish, the bear, and the garden here. And more so than, well, it is, you know, it does talk about your sense of stability as we see, and more so, than your stability in other areas, it has to do with your stability in your livelihood, in your financial situation, in the projection that you have of your financial situation, excuse me, and your livelihood to others around you. Let me get a scarf, just a sec. Okay, here we go. Now, the way you go about responding to that, the way, the action that you decide to take on, well, if I have a false sense of security, what shall I do? And here you enact a plan. You decide that, let me see, I'm going to start with trial and error. Trial and error. I'm going to see what works for me and what works less for me. Because in the environment that you're operating in, that you're working in, there is a sense of stability. There is true stability in the sense that you have reached a certain level of expertise. You have reached a certain level of experience, and you know what truly, and that should alone set you off from the crowd. And that is true. Look at that. The sun, the star, and the book. There are things here that you're not party to. There are, you know absolutely and others around you confirm this, that you have the strength and the ability to move forward in your area of expertise. Now, in the month of April, about after 10 days, you start to think, well, maybe I should keep my cards close to my vest, not tell everyone my moves. Let me try to keep a few of the secrets that I have and work secretly behind the scenes. Interestingly, because your emotional, the area of the emotions in the month of April is the area where you will be most prone to raise your spirits, to try to be able to look beyond your immediate situation. Your emotions, the way you react emotionally to certain things that occur, are going to be your wealth, are going to be your strong point. And the Wheel of Fortune is a Sagittarius card. Leo, I believe that in the period of Sagittarius, at the end of the year, we're talking the end of November, mid-December, is when you start to come into your own, when you fully understand that this was all meant to be. Everything that's happening now had a purpose, because the change that will be enacted around that period is the change of fire, of electricity, of a well planned out strategy that will unfold further on down the line during the year. Now, what's clue? The biggest clue here for me is, okay, it is the area of the timing here, the Sagittarius, and that is fine. But more so than that is the fact that you do know what you're doing. You know that you're doing things for a certain reason. And the change that you're enacting is done so at a speed that's so quick, when all of a sudden you feel secure and safe enough in your self-confidence, that what we have here, the key, the heart, and the mountain, there is, as I said, the Wheel of Fortune represents your emotions. The emotions are the key to your success. The emotions will be the things that guide you best and most in the upcoming period as well. And we have that here once again, telling us that until the period of Sagittarius, until the end of November, the 20th, 21st of November, you're going to find a period where things just don't seem right to you, Leo. It's just, this is not what I wanted. I wanted something more. I wanted something great. I wanted something me. And it's interesting to see, because what I'm prone to think here in the month of, you remember I said, there is a stable ground for you in the month of April, because you have a certain expertise. You have experience, and that's what you're going to rely on. And rely on it you should, because we have here the rider, the birds, and the coffin. Because those of you who fear losing your job, those of you who fear having to take a new job or change jobs, don't worry about that. It is just a fear. Because if you want, and if you enjoy where you're working, if you like what you're doing, this is the area, this is where you will shine in the future. This is where you will come into your own in the future. Let me cast the moons that are usually so spot on in telling me giving more insight. Oh, you know, I've had the watchword for the entire month of April, for everyone, for all the signs so far, has been success in one way or another. And Sohilo has come out again here too. And what are we seeing? It is a month of wheels turning. You know, what goes up, what comes down. And you will have the feeling from April up until the Sagittarius period that your luck is going to wax and wane, be important and be less important. You'll have these ups and downs that you just can't explain to yourself. And you'll want to feel that you need to earn more money, you need to be more successful. This is a mantra that you have during the whole period, starting in April until the period of Sagittarius. Awats here is the journeying room. Awats tells me, you know, along with Urus, you have to go through this phase, April, May, June, July, August, and so forth until Sagittarius, because the experiences and the negative, I have like a smirk state, the negative experiences as well that you will be having during this period is what ultimately, this is Gifo, will be coming back in the form of gifts, coming back in the form of charm, in coming back in the form of monetary value, because there's a certain amount of, how can I put it, trying to understand what you're made of. Leo, this is a period where from April onward toward the Sagittarius period, when you need to understand, who am I really? What, if I mature, what will I come out to be? It's interesting to see. First, two final runes here. Unyo, which is Merkstay, and that's the rune of joy. But also need next to that. And this is telling me that this is a period that you have to undergo in order for you to appreciate what necessarily is important for you and what makes you who you are. Getting to learn who you are. That is probably the most underlying message for the month of April. But I left it for the end. Success, Sohilo, right in the middle. You need to approach the month of April. We remember the first card in what had to do with your stability. In knowing, you have to come into the month of April knowing that you are worth something. You stand on a scale and you weigh 50. You stand on a scale, you weigh 100. You stand on a scale and you weigh 200. And if that's what you want, you can put it that way. I am worth 100. I am worth 200. We know that life is not that cut and dry, but it's from that starting point, from that security of who you are, that you need to flesh out the details of your expertise, of your excuse me, of your emotional ups and downs, of the gifts you have that you can give others, that you can put on the job. Success is yours, starting to plant the seeds in April and reaping the benefits in the period of Sagittarius. Leo, I hope this was of help to you. Ladies and gentlemen, namaste. Old subscribers, great to have you always around with me. I count on you. And new subscribers, welcome. Bye-bye. Have a great April.